Chairman Holloway and members of the committee, Dr. Atkinson, I am so honored to be here with you today. I am a product of the North Carolina school system, and I have proudly served children for over 36 years. I'm the mother of a daughter who has chosen education as her life's calling and is currently in her second year of teaching here in North Carolina. I hope my comments will not only give you information, but more importantly, touch your heart. Recently, I was cleaning out my mother's home and came across my 4th grade class photo. Miss Rose was my 4th grade teacher at T.W. Bennett Elementary School in Anson County. There were 34 students in our class. 46 years later, I still know the names of every one of my classmates, but more importantly, I remember our stories. I would imagine that most of us in this photograph, based on today's criteria, would have been classified as children of poverty or children at risk. But the greatest gift that we received was having Miss Rose as our teacher. She told us every single day that we were special. And she told us every single day that we were destined for greatness. She told us we would all go to college, or that we would definitely learn a trade. There was no other option. She made learning come alive for us in this little rural town in Anson County. She made it come alive by bringing the world to us, making instruction rigorous and relevant and real world. And she accepted nothing less than each of our personal best. She made us believe that it didn't matter where we came from. Didn't matter how much money was in our pocket or our current level of circumstance. What mattered was where we were going. And I am very proud to say that all 34 of us graduated from college or we learned a trade. Miss Rose, back in 1966, was teaching to the current demands of what we're calling the Common Core. The Common Core is really nothing new. Master teachers have always understood this kind of instruction, have always had these high expectations for all students, and have always understood standards of excellence, and more importantly, have always delivered outstanding results. What I know for sure, being in education for 36 years, call it what we want to call it, good teaching is happening. Children are learning. And for the first time, maybe not the first time Miss Rose did it, for pity's sake, 46 years ago, we rose to the occasion. We were all sons and daughters of farmers and people that didn't think any of us would make it. But we did, because she believed that we could, and she expected more from us than anyone thought that we could do. What I see every day in my schoolhouse with this new framework is teaching at its finest and learning at its best. Children love this way of learning, and they love the challenge that these learning experiences provide. And they love being totally engaged in what they're learning. The Common Core, with all due respect, is not the problem. There's so much confusion regarding which initiative is what, because so much is being rolled out at once. The overarching challenge with the Common Core isn't with the framework. It's just like Dr. Atkinson said. The assessment is not matching the instruction we are required to deliver. The good news is, my friends, We can fix this. I absolutely believe we can fix this. But what is the most disturbing of all to me are the messages that we are sending our children, our parents, and our teachers. We're leaving scars right now, and if we don't do something quickly, we're not going to be able to undo the damage. The message that a student's worth and potential is measured on a score of a piece of paper, and a teacher's effectiveness is based on the scores of his or her students. That's wrong. No one argues that we should not be held accountable or that assessment should not be given. What I argue is perhaps the process and the disalignment with what is being taught and how they're being assessed. Let me tell you about Prentice in my closing comments. He's 8 years old. And he's struggling academically. He's attended 5 schools in the past 4 years, and he's currently homeless. He goes home from school every day, wondering where he'll be sleeping that night. And he worries if he's going to have enough to eat. But he comes to school every day, or he used to, eager to learn and striving to do his best. In every sense of the word, school is Prentice's safe haven, his refuge from the daily storm in which he lives. School's always been the place where for 6.5 hours he felt loved, honored, safe, and successful. His teachers have very much been like my Miss Rose. Yesterday, Prentice came up to me in the hallway and he said how sorry he was that he didn't do so well on his most recent assessment. You see, in the past 5 months, Prentice has already made over a year's worth of growth. But what he's hearing, what he's seeing, is that he's a score. When I tried to reassure him that everything was going to be all right, he looked up at me with tears in his eyes, and he said that Miss Summers, I'm only a 2. No child should ever refer to themselves as a score or think that they're going to be defined by a score. They are so much more than that. What was once a place of joy and happiness, I am so afraid, will very soon become a place of worry and concern. The messages we are sending to teachers is that their effectiveness is based on how well their class performs on assessments that we all know are not currently aligned with what they're required to teach. You've heard us all say the workload is immense, the stress level is high, the pay is low, the incentives are being taken away, and we're asking them to do more with less. Hear me, friends. Teacher morale is at an all-time low, and teachers are leaving the profession. The Miss Roses of the world just can't take it anymore. It's too painful, it's too stressful, and honestly too demoralizing. But the good news is we can stop what's not working, and we can fix what is broken. We have a moral obligation and an incredible responsibility to courageously and boldly do the right thing. Let's come together and admit that perhaps we may need more time. We may need to re-examine the process. We may need to find, and we must find, a way to honor teachers by celebrating them, rather than sending the messages that we are currently sending to them. They deserve to make more money. We can make North Carolina #1 in the nation in public education by making our state's greatest resource, our children and our teachers, our number one priority. Let's do this for the thousands of children who need to hear a new message about their worth and their potential, and for those thousands of teachers who should not have to leave the profession that they love so dearly. We are North Carolina. We can figure this out. We all care about our children very, very deeply. I ask that we work fast, we figure this out, and the sooner the better.